What is going on YouTube? Hannah back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to US dollar. We're also going to be looking at the current coin market cap, as well as some very interesting things happening here on the channel. Specifically, I want to focus on the topic that we've been talking about, which was the very interesting move Bitcoin and the rest of the market has had to the upside, and exactly how much higher we are planning to go. Because I do know that a lot of people are getting ready for what appears to be a potential bearish drop that could send us all the way down to like $6,000. I know I've been talking about it here on the channel. I'm really not trying to spread any FUD, but we do have to discuss what exactly is going on right now, because I do think this is sending the wrong message, and I do really need to get my message across to you guys. Otherwise, if you are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up. Remember to follow me on Twitter at CryptoVOfficial. This way, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you could just DM me over there and I will hop right on it and answer them. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. So guys, as you can see, yesterday's video I discussed a very interesting topic. Basically, XRP, Ripple, and Bitcoin were moving, and the next stop could be closer to $10,000. As you can see, we retested the middle moving average, and we're starting to swing up higher, as referenced by the thumbnail. And in specifics, I want to talk about exactly what is going on with the market right now. So when we look at the current coin market cap, top 10 cryptos, they all appear to be, fine, up 2%. We're really not seeing any crazy movements, 2%, 3%, even Bitcoin, which is really the only coin that's actually getting a pump right now, is about 6.5%. But ultimately, we're starting to kind of come near the top of things, and we may be, getting ready for a reversal into the opposite direction, and we could start to get ready to short this cryptocurrency on, obviously, DueDEX and use our techniques that we teach here on the channel, as well as on Patreon. So, to start, let's look at the Bitcoin chart. Now, yesterday I made the video, we discussed that this is definitely a harder chart to read. The only thing we do know and that we can reference is when you, take a step back, look at the weekly chart and get the general understanding that obviously there is a massive, and I mean massive, downtrend and uptrend forming right now. We have a massive resistance, massive, support right here, all coming to a point where it meets closer to mid-April of 2021. But for the most part, right now we can see, based off of where we are trending right now, the important line to pay attention to is obviously the resistance up top here. So you can clearly see every time we wick above here, we end up consolidating lower, we end up breaking bearish, and this happens every single time. Now, we have to take this into consideration for those of you that are anticipating a break to the upside and anticipating maybe the potential chance of seeing a $12,000 Bitcoin, a $15,000 Bitcoin. You have to take, this into consideration, that this resistance may not break. Now, obviously, I'm still doing some research. If you have any suggestions with Elliott wave patterns like this, you can definitely let me know, because the way these charts are showing, it looks like we're headed for E. It looks like we need a downtrend right here. This is what I am anticipating. We can even Google it, an Elliott wave, triangle or Elliott wave pattern. We'll see what it pulls up. Did not spell that right. Here we go. So this is what I'm referring to. Basically, you can see how these look, where we come down into it and then it starts with A at the top, or we have it where it starts at the bottom. But I believe we started at the top here with Bitcoin. We did. We started at the top here. So very similar to what I have drawn here. We start at the top, then we consider going down. We hit D at the bottom and hit E at the top. A little bit different. We have E forming right here. So obviously, I just need to learn a little bit more, play around with everything that's happening, because there's definitely two different ways I could start this. E being at the bottom here does reference actually very similar with the market. E being at the bottom references a bullish break to the upside, E hitting here, but I didn't start it at A. I started A at the top. If we take a look, you guys can see we started at the bottom. So yeah, this is very similar. This Elliott wave is very similar to what is shown here. And with that, knowledge coming through, it appears to me that it looks like there's more resistance to come. It looks like there's this drop that we're all anticipating. So I don't want people to get discouraged that we may see a big break to the downside. This is still a huge opportunity to make a crap ton of money. Literally just shorting this coin all the way down the next month or two, down to 5,700 from its current high of 96, is a massive opportunity. It's not like 2017 where we weren't aware of shorting cryptocurrency. That is now a factor here on the channel that I use all the time, that you guys use all the time. Literally, take advantage of DueDEX, sign up. Link is in the description of DueDEX. You can sell short, you can buy long. It's very simple. They're even giving a sign-up bonus too. And all this is explained on my Patreon, guys. All my trade stop losses, shorts, leverage trades, everything that goes on with what I trade with and how I make money off of here is basically on my Patreon, and all of that is linked in the description. But just to give you guys, awareness, there's a very good chance we could see some sort of correction, some sort of drop as we're expecting, because most of the time this forms massive wicks, and there's a good chance we could head back down to E. Just be aware of that. Just pay attention to that. That's ultimately what I'm expecting that's what I'm expecting to happen with this market. I do think there's another dip, but let me know what you guys think in the in the comments down below. Now, moving on, obviously this was a fairly common uptrend. It made a little bit of sense due to the fact that we saw us retesting this middle moving average. We bottomed off here and we started to swing back higher. This was a great reference for us to realize there's a good chance that we are going to swing up. There was a good chance we were going to see that due to the fact that we hit this moving average. It's a very strong support. It made sense to see that small dip higher, but consider we did break the resistance. We broke bearish. We broke outside the uptrend, and there's a good chance this may lead us to spiral down lower. That is a very big opportunity. We did have the big rush to the upside. There's a good chance we can see some consolidation lower, and that's something you guys have to spend quite a bit of time on analyzing and figuring out whether or not we're going to do so. Even with XRP, this is another great cryptocurrency. If we look at the weekly chart, I think this is the biggest, one of the bigger moments in XRP's history, you can say, because we have this massive downtrend, and we finally consolidated all the way back down to where it freaking started from in early 2017, mid 2017. The price is literally at the same level it started 3 years ago. And the fact that this downtrend is still holding such strength on the market, there is still a massive chance it could head even lower, and that's something you guys have to pay attention to. That's something you guys have to consider. Are we going to be breaking this resistance, or are we going to fall lower? There's a big shot that we could be falling lower, especially if Bitcoin drops. And we see this drop in Bitcoin, very big chance XRP could see that drop too. Definitely let me know, for those XRP hodlers out there, what you think is going on with XRP, what you can predict happening. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of perma bulls expecting us to shoot up to 70. I do think at some point we are going to see that big break to the upside, but is it going to happen now? Is it going to happen in the next couple of days? I think the way Bitcoin is trending with this massive correction to the downside, good chance XRP is going to follow pursuit and follow what Bitcoin is doing too, and we're probably going to see a drop on both sides. Now, lastly, to wrap up today's video, I want to look at Litecoin, and then, that will pretty much be it. Litecoin is trading very similar to Ethereum with a small little correction here, a small little swing we're seeing here as well, and there's a very good chance it's probably going to continue to consolidate into this massive uptrend. And you can see the relevance between Litecoin and Bitcoin as well. As we discussed, Bitcoin had that massive weekly symmetrical triangle forming. Litecoin has the same exact one. You can see right here, sorry, allergies. There is also a massive consolidation here. We have a massive uptrend, a massive resistance, and this is also coming to an endpoint. Now, Bitcoin's is obviously a little bit bigger than Litecoin is, but it does have this uptrend. It does have this consolidation, and they are both coming to some standstill and some point where we do end it. So that's what we have to pay attention to. There's going to be a little more consolidation, but I don't think in the next week or so we're going to see any really big pops in volume. If anything, I am definitely more on the bearish side of this market than I am on the bullish. Now, that's pretty much going to wrap up everything I wanted to talk about today's episode. Obviously, you guys can check out my Patreon that I've linked in the description. Huge shout out to everybody. We're almost at 80 patrons, which is absolutely phenomenal. I didn't think we'd ever get there, but we are doing it and we are crushing it. Everything has been updated on my Patreon. It's literally where I send you guys and post all of my live updating trades and charts. Unlike YouTube, which takes a while to edit, upload, like this one, my Patreon is where you guys can get that information fully pushed out once I post it. So there's nothing you really have to wait for on that end. Otherwise, that's going to wrap up today's video. Definitely make sure to check out DueDEX as well. The link is in the description. Make sure to follow me on YouTube. Turn on post notifications. It does help the YouTube algorithm. And make sure to follow me on Twitter. This way you can get into direct contact with me. Literally, it's Crypto TV official. DM me, whatever it is. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can just write me over there. And definitely make sure to join the community. It'd be nice to have you guys. Otherwise, that's going to wrap up today's video, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.